All right, next section in Unit 2 is what happens when we have variables on both sides. So again, there are steps to solve this. So when in doubt, if you forget, go back and look at your steps and make sure you're following those correctly. So I'm going to list out those steps first, and they're very, very similar to last note's steps. Step 1 is we're going to distribute if necessary, if needed, only because I can never really spell necessary. Step 2 is we're going to simplify both sides. Step 3 is we're going to move variable term. Notice that vocabulary. I'm going to circle it. Move variable term to one side. I prefer the left because at the end we always get our variable on the left, so I'm just going to put that in parentheses. And then step 4 is we solve. Okay, so if we look at number 1 together, we've got variables on both sides. I don't need to distribute. They're already simplified because I can't combine 5y and a -8, and I can't combine 3y plus 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my variable term, and I want to get it on the left-hand side. So in order to do that, I got to move this all the way over. So I got to clear it out of here. What property is going to allow me to clear out this 3y? Additive inverse. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract 3y over here. And remember, it's equality. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. And now I get 2y minus 8 equals 12. And bam, I'm back to solving the two-step equation. So I add 8 on both sides. Additive inverse, 2y equals 20. Divide both sides by 2. And then y equals 10. And of course, I can check my answer. 10 times 5 is 50. 50 minus 8 is 42. 10 times 3 is 30. 30 plus 12 is 42. So it checks out on both sides. So don't forget that check. All right. So we should have the steps written down. If not, of course, you can pause it and write those down. And that's not going to work. All right. Let's do... Fantastic. All right, so let's do one where we distribute. And all right, here we go. So on the next page, if you have questions on number 1, come see me in tutoring, and then we can go over those examples again together. But let's do number 7. So my first step is I'm going to distribute, and I can distribute this 3, so I get 18p minus 3 equals 11p minus 45. I want to bring my variable term. I always take my variable term to the left-hand side, so I don't have to do symmetric property later. So I'm going to move this 11p, and I need to get that whole term over to the other side. So in order to do that, additive inverse, because now it's gone, and I have 7p minus 3 equals negative 45. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and I get 7p equals negative 42. I divide 7. And now I have p equals negative 6. And negative 6 would be my answer. So if you need to slow that down and walk through it again, go ahead and do that. I'm going to do the odd numbers on this side. So if you want to go ahead and pause it and work through them and see if we're getting the same answer. Let me enlarge this a little bit. Okay, here's number 9. So step 1. Distribute, so I have 9m minus 27 plus 3m equals 7m plus 43. So I've distributed. Now I'm going to simplify both sides. So over here, I can combine 9m and 3m to be 12m minus 27. And then over here, nothing can be simplified, so I keep it as 7m plus 43. Now I'm going to move my variable term to the left-hand side, so I'm going to take all of this and move it, which means I'm going to subtract 7m on both sides. That way it clears out over here. And 12m minus 7m is 5m minus 27 equals 43. Now I do additive inverse to get my constant term on the other side. So I add 27 on both sides. I get 5m equals 70. Divide both sides by 5. And m equals 14. Okay, so you should be getting that for number 9. 14, m equals 14. All right, let's take a look at number 11. Oh, it works. Excellent. All right, number 11. So distributive property, 5x stays here. The only thing I'm distributing is what is outside my parentheses, which is a negative. So here I'm going to distribute negative 1, which is the same thing as negative 1. So negative times x is a negative x, and a negative times a negative 18 is a positive 18. So it changes what's inside that sign, those parentheses. So here I have 6. I'm distributing this negative 2, so I get negative 2x, and a negative 2 times 15 is a negative 30. So I've distributed both sides. Now I'm going to simplify both sides. So over here I can combine 5x and negative x to be 4x plus 18 equals negative 2x is fine, he's by himself, but I can combine this 6 and this negative 30 to be negative 24. Now I'm still going to move my variable term to the left. So I'm going to add 2x now to clear it out, additive inverse, and I get 6x plus 18 equals negative 24. I subtract 18 on both sides, and I get 6x equals negative 42, and I divide both sides by 6, and x equals negative 7. So negative 7 should be my answer there. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a lesson on variables on both sides. If you have questions, come and see me. Good luck on your homework.